So if you're using AI to create SEO content, watch this entire video because if you make some of the mistakes I'm going to show you, you will get penalized by Google. And how do I know? Well, I've seen this exact story play out countless times in the last 10 years of being in the SEO industry. So if you want to avoid losing your rankings and traffic overnight, then keep watching. So first, fast and easy is never good. And in SEO, oftentimes I've seen throughout the years that whenever there's a new shiny thing that people can use, they're going to take advantage of it because it's going to be easy, it's going to be fast. And the truth is that this causes a lot of problems. And SEO is not a short-term thing. It is not a fast marketing channel. It's not like you can turn on ads and you can immediately start getting leads. You have to slowly build over time. You have to get all of that work and it all has to be compounded over time. And then that's what leads to the big spike in traffic. So you may see people who are using AI content to get traffic very fast, but the faster it goes and the faster it climbs, the harder it falls. And there's this old saying in the stock market that stocks take the stairs up and the elevator down. And that's the same in SEO. We really want to take the stairs up. We don't want to take the elevator up because the faster you go up, the harder it will fall. Before the first Panda update, SEOs loved to create tons of content to manipulate Google. And then Google slaughtered everyone and tons of SEOs actually quit the game. This is very common in the pre-Panda days. People would start an affiliate website and they would create these little thin product reviews, these little thin pieces of content. They would just publish a ton on their sites. And it did work, but then Google got much better at seeing, okay, this content's thin, this content doesn't demonstrate actual experience, this content or even this website has poor backlinks. So the Panda update and the Penguin update really worked together to identify these really low quality sites. And that's still going on today. It's just not called Panda. So this is nothing new. People have been creating thin, low quality content for a long time. The next most important thing here is that anyone can pump out generic information about any topic now. Because of AI, anyone can really go and create content. Even if you're not a native English speaker, you can go into ChatGPT on any topic and you can produce a piece of content, okay? And the truth is, honestly, I will admit that ChatGPT, the content is better than a lot of content mills that I've used for many years. Just out of the gate, it's better. But all that's happened is that ChatGPT has simply leveled the playing field. Okay, so that means anyone can actually create content. But the problem with that is that anyone can create content. It doesn't have any unique value if anyone can create content. So the difference maker is going to be how you actually go about finding unique angles, how you're going to make your content better than everyone else. And the truth is, this is similar to when Google said that having a fast loading website was a ranking factor. Okay. Well, yeah, that it does affect performance likely in organic search. It affects conversions. But what happens when everyone has a website that loads fast? Well, it's not a differentiator anymore. Everyone has SSL certificates. Everyone has a fast loading website. Everyone has a mobile friendly website. Those three things are not differentiators. That's just to get into the arena. That's not how you actually beat your competitors. And this is the same thing. Anyone can pump out generic content, but the difference maker is going to be the people who actually invest in the quality of their content. You can use AI to do that, but there's a lot of other things that you'll have to do to make sure that content's actually good. And one thing to consider too is that the goal of SEO isn't just to rank. This is a big mistake that people make. It's not just to rank. The goal of SEO is to get people qualified traffic to our website and turn that traffic into leads and customers and sales. The only exception is if you're building a website that's purely based on ad revenue. Okay, in that case, but even then you still want to target the right keywords that are going to have a high CPM. But regardless, for most businesses that actually sell something, our goal is to get the right organic traffic to our website and get it to convert. And the problem with AI content is most of it, the way that I've seen people doing it, it's very generic, it's not interesting, it's not compelling, and it doesn't persuade anyone to do anything. And the goal of the content is to persuade people. We need to persuade them to go deeper into the funnel. It's beautiful that you can pump out a bunch of informational content, But if you can't push that searcher deeper into the funnel to become a lead, join your email list, actually buy something, then you haven't done your job, right? So this is just, and this is very important. People don't realize that the type of traffic that comes to your website through the proper intent based on the keywords is the most critical part for the conversion cycle, right? So you have to make sure that you're hitting the right intent, then you're driving that to your site, and then that page satisfies that intent. And if you satisfy that intent well, that's only stage one, because after that, we need to say, okay, we've satisfied the intent, we've given Google what it needs. Now we need to figure out, how are we going to take this person and actually turn them into a lead? How are we going to push them deeper into the funnel? And the only way to really do that is through proper direct response copywriting. And I'll tell you, ChatGPT is not good at that at this point. So you need to add those unique elements, and you need to make your content more personable. And that's really all you have to do to stand out, right? The truth is, most people are going to be lazy. They're just going to pump out AI content and then they're just going to move on. But if you spend a little bit more time, you invest in your content, and also remember that the content, SEO content, is more than just words. It's also the visuals, it's the videos, it's the design, it's the readability. There's just a lot that goes into it to make a really great page for Google, and most importantly, for the users. Okay, don't forget about the users. We're not just trying to rank. We're also trying to influence the people that come to our site to actually do something on our website. Okay, next thing here is, there's this concept of hustle culture, right? And I like Gary Vee. Okay, I think he's pretty cool. I think I like a lot of stuff he says, so this is nothing against him, but he has pushed this kind of like hustle culture where you have to do more, and you have to constantly be doing stuff. And the truth is, doing more doesn't equate to publishing more. Okay, you can do more on one single asset. So I think some people misconstrue this, right? They think, oh, do more. Okay, I need to publish more. I need to create more content. But realistically, you can do more on just one blog post, right? You can put the equivalent amount of effort that you put into publishing tons of blog content into one piece of blog content. You're just reallocating your time and your resources towards creating quality. And when it comes to SEO, if you want to be able to rank long-term, you don't want to get hit by penalties, you need to be investing in your content. Treat every asset like a real asset. And you can always go and revisit assets. It's not like you get one shot where you publish once and it's over. But still, you should treat it like you're really thinking that you want to rank for 5 years, right? That should be your mentality. When you attack a keyword, you should say, I want to rank for 5 years. So what can we do? What angle can we take? What type of content can we create that's going to actually stand the test of time, that we don't have to constantly re-update it and recycle it and do multiple iterations, right? You're still going to do iterations, but it's just more that mentality is what you want. So if you're going to do more on actually producing better quality. Invest in quality. Okay, it makes a huge difference. Don't feel like you need to just pump out a bunch of content. It's not gonna do you any favors in the long term, because you're gonna have to go back and clean all that up anyway. Next thing is, Christopher Nolan is a perfect example of why quality over quantity is much better. Okay, since 1998, so we're talking 25 years, he's only put out 12 movies. So that's roughly one movie every 2 years. Okay, so do you think that he's putting in less effort than his competitors? The answer is definitely no. He's putting in as much effort as the directors and producers that put out a lot of stuff, right? He's putting in just as much effort, but he's just directing that effort into one project, right? He's not trying to put out, a movie every 6 months or a movie every 3 months. He's not concerned about that. He's not concerned about quantity in any way. He's concerned about quality. So he'll invest a lot of time, a lot of effort into these assets, these movies, because he knows that, well, first of all, that's just his style. But the point is that this is the much better approach, right? You're going to get way more out of this. And it's more thinking about what makes a bigger impact in the ocean, throwing a pebble or throwing a nuclear bomb, right? What's going to make a bigger impact? And sure, you can throw pebbles in the ocean all day, but you're really not going to get a huge splash. You're not going to get a huge impact from that. And you should be focused more on impact. We should be focused more on, like I mentioned, how are we going to rank? Like if I could develop a strategy today that could rank forever, what would that look like, right? Instead of just saying, I found a keyword, I'm going to use ChatGPT to create content, and I'm going to just pump out as much as possible. That's kind of the mindset for a lot of people. So just you have to kind of change your mindset to focus more on quality. Okay, quality is what makes the difference long term in SEO. It always does. So and whenever you really take this strategy of quantity and you're not focused on quality, that is when you're going to suffer the most. Now, the next thing here is when it comes to your content, you need to focus on uniqueness. Okay, this is very important because at this point, like I mentioned, anyone with ChatGPT can go and just create content, right? There's no barrier to entry anymore. You can go and just pump out whatever generic content you want about any topic. Okay, and I know people say, well, you can put the different prompts and you can do that. You can certainly make your generic content slightly less generic and not as cookie cutter. Okay, you can. But when you look at really exceptional content, I have not seen anyone who's been able to produce, when I say high caliber content with ChatGPT. Like I'm talking like elite level content that injects a lot of uniqueness into the content. So for example, like if you read any of my blog posts, there are certain things that I do in my content that just simply cannot be replicated. And the reason is because I'm pulling from my own unique experience, okay? So my experience in my field of SEO, my experience as a human, my interests, and things of that nature that no one else can replicate. For example, I may add like a meme in my content that may be specific to the UFC, okay? I like watching the UFC. I've been watching it for many years. So that's my unique interest. So I'm always going to find something that's unique to what I like. Okay. And so that's unique to me. And that is what we should be thinking about. What is going to be unique to you? Right. And that's at the end of the day, AI can't do that. Right. At least at this point, I don't want to doubt it too much, but at this point, it can't do that. It can't add the level of uniqueness. It can't add these unique pattern interrupts that no one else would even think of because it's from your own experience, your life experience. So the point is, if you want to make your content better, add different levels of experience in there. Actually go and try products. Like for example, I have a blog post on Gotcha SEO where we tested the top keyword research services. Okay, I looked at that keyword and said, okay, I want to rank for keyword research services. So I looked at the top 10 and I said, okay, pretty much everyone's just kind of like a service page. It's really boring stuff. So what I did was I was like, all right, well, if I want to rank for this long term, I'm actually going to go and try all of these keyword research services. So that's what I did. I bought every single one, actually invested my own money into buying these services. And then I ranked them based on what I saw. And simple as that. And once again, AI can't replicate that. Right? Because I actually had to spend money. They can't replicate that. So that's why Google in the EEAT guidelines actually added that extra E, which is experience. Because when it comes to product reviews, when it comes to really any content, that's going to be a key differentiator, right? It's very difficult for AI to replicate that. You could, of course, fabricate it, but that would just be unethical. And so if you're going to do things in an ethical way, it's difficult to replicate real experience. So find little opportunities to add unique experience and look for any opportunity to add unique data, research, anything that can just make your content stand out on its own, right? Be that purple cow. The other part is the expertise, right? We want to always try to create our content from a point of subject matter expertise. Okay, we don't want to, and this applies to every industry. This isn't just your money, your life industries, talking about finance or talking about health. Even if you have a website about funny cat pictures, you should still emphasize why you're the expert on funny cat pictures. You've been studying funny cat pictures and laughing at them and posting about them for 10 plus years, and no one knows more about funny cat pictures than you, okay? You are an expert. You are a subject matter expert on funny cat pictures. So no matter what the industry is, you should always establish the expertise. Why are you qualified to write about this topic? Okay, simple as that. It doesn't need to be super complicated, but if you need to always have that byline by someone who's actually qualified. And then on top of it, like I mentioned previously, uniqueness is much more than just words. Words are just the first part of the equation. You need to really focus on that because it's a very important part of the equation. So if you're going to be using AI content, you need to inject the human elements into it. And so that's going to be obviously adding more direct response copywriting conventions in there, making it, using your unique writing conventions, your unique voice, but then also focusing on making your design unique of your content. I mean, how many people talk about content design? Not very often, but the actual design of your content can be a key differentiator. The user experience of your content, like how easy is it for people to read your content? Can they scan your content, or do you have massive, huge blocks that are difficult to digest? Like, break your content up, make it easy to consume. These are small little things. Even people I've seen creating AI content they're not using these methods. They're just creating articles and publishing them on their site. So use unique design. Focus on user experience, because if you focus on user experience, that will lead to conversions. Focus on readability. How easy is it to consume this content? You want people to actually get through your content, get through your pages, because if they get through your content, you're building a relationship with them. You're building trust, you're building rapport, and that leads to actual conversions and sales and all the good stuff that we actually want. And then also images and videos, right? You can easily make a piece of content much more unique when you add unique images, unique videos that no one else can really replicate. So this is the way that you really need to be thinking about this process. So now I just want you to think about these 3 things the next time you feel like you're getting seduced by SEO clickbait. So number 1 is you can have speed, but you can't have quality. You can have quality, but you can't have speed, okay? You can't have the best of both worlds, right? And so for me personally, you really just have to decide what you want, okay? If you're willing to sacrifice quality to have speed, then there's many different ways to do things, right? But for me, I believe that quality when it comes to SEO is going to be a much better strategy. Yes, it's more difficult. Yes, it requires a bigger upfront investment. Yes, you're not going to be able to just pump out a bunch of stuff. But long term, really treating every piece of content, every keyword with the respect that it deserves, and doing that in the proper way is going to be way more beneficial long term. I've seen this story play out so many times. People pump out these like insane websites with tons of content, and Google comes around and shuts it down very fast. Okay, the sites that stick around long term focus on quality, hands down. The ones that have been around for 10 plus years, they didn't focus on quantity, okay? They focused on quality. Next one is fast organic traffic gains are easy. Long-term sustainable growth is hard. And the faster it climbs, the harder it falls, okay? I mentioned this earlier, but it is actually pretty easy to get gains very quickly. But to actually maintain performance, to actually keep your rankings and continue to grow year over year is very difficult. And the only way to do that is, number 1, you're creating exceptional content, exceptional pages for Google. Number 2, you're building site authority. So you're acquiring relevant, high quality links to the site that helps you eliminate the volatility that comes with having a lack of authority. Okay, so you have to have those 2 things happening at the same time. And also, like I mentioned, just creating content is enough. We need to also have positive user signals on that content to make sure that we're satisfying the actual users on our page. Don't worry about, if Google's tracking user metrics like that. That's not the point. The point is that we want to focus on user metrics and think about what is best for the user in general. Like, I don't care about what metrics Google's using to determine how users are engaging with my content. I just think about what is best for the user, right? Is this the best content for this keyword? Yes or no? That's it. It doesn't need to be that complicated. Like, is this the best page that's created for this keyword? And if you can't definitively say yes, or at least you know that you've given your best, you've given your all to try to be the best, then it's not good enough, right? And that's what we should be thinking about. Like, your goal should be to create the best page for that keyword every time. And that's also when you're looking at your keywords, you need to be thinking about that. Like, analyze the competition. And sometimes, you know what, there are keywords even for me where I won't even attack it because I don't see an angle. I don't see an angle where I can win. Okay. And if I don't see an angle where I can win, I can bring something new to the table, I just move on to another keyword. Even if that keyword has low competition, right? Just because it has low competition doesn't mean it's a keyword you should attack. What you should be thinking about is like, is there an opportunity to come with a unique angle, come with that purple cow strategy? And if there is, then attack it, because you're going to win, right? You're going to win because you're going to create something so much better, and you're going to create a moat around your content, which is going to help you rank long term. Okay, that's what we should be thinking about. And then number 3, most newer websites do get these newbie gains. Okay, this is a real thing. So new sites can get this nice push initially, but over time, this slowly starts to fall. And this is mainly because Google just loves fresh. Like, Google loves freshness. I'm always exploiting this particular part of the algorithm. We will upgrade assets, republish them, and we get a nice ranking gain, or even regain rankings in this way. And that's because Google just loves freshness. But the problem is, over time, as the longer you're in this, the longer you have a chance of getting pushed down. So if you get these newbie gains, but you're not supporting the content in your pages and the keywords with backlinks, then it's not going to last, right? So these newer sites can get some initial gains, but you have to also be growing the link velocity at the same time, because otherwise, over time, you're just going to get pushed off by other authority sites, and Google's just going to push you out of the results. That's just the way that it works. Number 4, the goal of SEO isn't traffic. The goal of SEO is to make more money. Okay, don't lose sight of that. I see so many people so focused on like how they grew their traffic. And truthfully, you wouldn't believe how many companies come to me and I have the same conversation with them. They say, yeah, we worked with an SEO company and our traffic went up, but our sales didn't increase at all. And that's because so many SEO companies try to juice their traffic numbers. So they'll target a bunch of junk keywords that have high volume. And yeah, you can rank from because they're not competitive, and they drive a ton of traffic and they make your traffic, your Google Analytics traffic look great, or they look your Google Search Console impressions look awesome, but then they don't focus on the conversion part. And that's because they're focused on keywords that don't drive conversions. So when you're thinking about your overall SEO strategy, you should be focused on the bottom of the funnel and then working your way up to the informational. Just getting traffic is not the goal. The goal is to drive conversion. So focus on the bottom of the funnel and support your bottom of the funnel keywords. And naturally, you're going to end up targeting informational keywords. But the point is just the mentality. You're focusing on the keywords that actually drive revenue. And if you have a business that doesn't have products and maybe you just are completely monetized through ad revenue, it's the same thing. You still want to focus on keywords that have really good investigative intent, transactional intent, because those are the highest value keywords. So no matter what the business is, that's where the focus should be. And the entire strategy should be built around improving those keywords instead of just creating a bunch of informational content and juicing your traffic numbers and getting nothing out of it. So that's not what I would personally do. So that's all I have for today. Subscribe for more SEO videos. Thank you for listening to my rant, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.